spent a month in to make up for that a little bit. Here's my kitty, or one of my kitties. This is Jack. He's gotten so much bigger. He's a big baby. Yes. Big baby. Yeah, he just really wants to leave. For 2 weeks in there, I did nothing but watch X-Files because I kind of unofficially got laid off from my job. So I don't really have anything to do. And yeah, I recommend anyone and everyone in my audience, which I see is steadily growing, even though I haven't put anything out, which makes me feel kind of guilty, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Watch X-Files. It's near and dear to me, and I love it a lot. But that's not what this video is about. It's kind of a reaction to MelinaPendulum's rant on True Blood versus the Sookie Stackhouse books. It's interesting. Her reaction, Melina's reaction to these first 2 episodes of the 4th season are completely different from my reaction. I'm excited and interested to see where this now 4th season is gonna go. And I really haven't ever been legitimately excited for True Blood before. It's a trashy show that I like to watch. And usually during the summer I watch it with my mom and my sister. It's a family show, and we all watch it together, and it's the thing that we talk about during the summer. It's not something like that I legitimately care about. Melina, she has read the Sookie Stackhouse books. I tried to read the first one, but I lost interest because it's told from Sookie's perspective. It's first person. And to me, in the show, I don't really care about Sookie. There are like 5 side characters who I really love, or who at least I'm emotionally invested in, where I don't care that much about Sookie, or Bill, or Eric, for that matters. But according to Melina, Sookie is a much more interesting character than she is in the TV show. Like, in the book, she's way more interesting and independent. Because Melina, is worried about what they're gonna do with this 4th season, because she wants her strong Sookie, other developing stories that she thought fit in well, or that were good, that are in the books that are pretty much impossible now. And I guess the one thing that I have to respond to that with is it's kind of like Full Metal Alchemist. I think they took the first 4 volumes of the manga, and then they, animated those, and then they did their whole other thing. Overall, I still love, the first series of Full Metal, especially because I love Dante, and I think she's a way better villain than Father for multiple reasons, but again, I'm not going to get into that because that's not what this is about, this video. With True Blood, that's kind of what they're doing, where and especially with adding in new characters or changing them, I guess it's not a bad thing as long as it ultimately leads to good results, and Melina doesn't think that things will pan out and that they'll be developed and good in this 4th season. But I have higher hopes for 4th season than she does by the first 2 episodes that I watched. Because for one, oh my god, Bill is like so much more interesting to me now. Like, because for way too much of, like him and our, as an audience, spending time with him, it's like all he does is bitch about being a vampire, and how he like wishes he were human, and it's like, oh my god, shut up. Seriously, shut up. It's been 150 years. You should be used to being a vampire by now. Get over this. Accept yourself, please, shut up! Now I find him more interesting because he can be manipulative, and he has actual backstory now that doesn't have anything to do with a woman in his life now. Like, there are things that actually are about him independent as a character. And also, especially because now anything that he does for Suki's benefit or protection is now done, pretty much selflessly, because he doesn't expect Suki to, reciprocate his feelings. And that was one of the things that I was worried about, like, where the show would go, because for the first 3 seasons, like, it's all about Bill and Suki, despite all of the conflicts, all of the things that try to get in between them, how they manage to still stay together. Like, that was what the first 3 seasons were about. Like, a big support beam of, if you can imagine, like, the show like a house. And, for them to knock it out, it's like, what's gonna happen now? I think that, if you think that Eric's, saying, like, you are mine is sexy at all, I think there's something wrong with you, because to me, like, Eric just, like, cranked up his creep factor to, like, 11, and, how he tried to defend it by saying, like, when Bill said that you were his, you were angry, that was a different situation. Like, Suki was surrounded by 3 vampires who wanted to tear her open, and then Suki, or Bill, said that, she's mine, you can't eat her. That's different. He was ensuring that she wasn't going to die in that situation, versus, like, what is Suki in danger of, when she comes home after the time skip, being homeless, I guess, but not even really, because, I mean, Jason lives in their childhood home, so Suki could just go and live with Jason. I mean, it's not like she would be homeless. I don't see as, Eric being in the right here even at all. Although, I have to make this clear, I don't think that Suki should be with Bill or Eric. I think, honestly, she should be with Alcide. One of the good things about Suki in the series is that she is not ashamed of being, a telepath or a fairy, what she's revealed to be. Like, she's not ashamed of herself. Like, I think, like, Bill kind of is, of being a vampire a lot of the time, or yeah, like, Alcide is of being a werewolf. So I think, like, that she could inspire him to not be ashamed of being more than human. I also think, like, with Alcide and Suki, like, their families in both cases mean everything to them. Like, with Suki, Jason and Tara and her grandmother who died, and Lafayette, like, that's her family. People she'd die for, people she'd kill for, and he has that too. So there's a lot that they can share, and they're both alive, human people, where they can have children, they can have a life together. So to me, that makes the most sense. But anyway, like, Eric is just, like, a creeper, or was in these first 2 episodes, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, did he, not give up on her because he legitimately loves her, or just because he's, like, crazy obsessed with her and just, like, really scary at this point? One thing I wanted to talk about was Tara, that Melina felt like Tara being bisexual or gay now is because like, she hates men, so then she became a lesbian. You see, that's not quite what I read it as, because if you catch it, like, Tara is lying to this woman who she has a relationship with, like, saying that she came from Atlanta, and she also calls her Tony. Like, I don't know why she calls Tara Tony, because that's obviously not her name, where it's like Tara just so much wanted to become another person that, you know, she even then switched sexual preferences. Like, because she just wanted to be somebody else. And Jason, also, I really love Jason in the series, because, like, it kind of reminds me of Cordelia from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where, you know, she's the horrible popular girl who, you know, us geeks and nerds and everything, who of course we hate, because that's like the last thing we want to become or aspire to or associate ourselves with, you know, because they picked on us in high school. And Jason is, you know, like that, where he was a jerk jock, but then to become what he has, you know, somebody who is, you know, kind and loyal and protecting, like that. I really love that, and that progression of him in the series, and that was one of the things that I really liked about third season, even if it was a mess. And even though, like, Hotshot, they're like backwoods hillbillies, it doesn't bother me too terribly much, because then that even I guess highlights that that Jason, you know, doesn't see them. You know, he sees them as being people, and he just, you know, will take care of them, will take care of anybody. So I mean, it's just more for Jason versus anybody else. But yeah, I guess if I read the books, I would be upset about that too, like Melina is. Also, Hoyt and Jessica. I love Jessica, and she's interesting. And one thing also I'm really hoping for is more Jessica and Bill interaction. A lot of their best scenes have been with the two of them together, and I think both of them play off of one another really well. And but also, like, Jessica, where you know, she's going to go, and you know how she accepts her nature in different ways, and what she is actually going to do now, who she's actually going to be. I'm interested in, and I'm interested to see then where Hoyt will go and what he'll have to deal with, because I love his character too. And of course, Lafayette, you know, love Lafayette. And I guess one of the best things I think about these first two episodes is that it's so clear that Jesus and Lafayette have the most healthy relationship. And like, one thing that drives me nuts about Glee is how they treat Kurt and Blaine's relationship, where, like, we are reminded all the time that they're gay, and that, oh, they have to overcome so much, and oh, they're gay and they have to overcome so much. It's like, you don't have to keep reminding me of that. You know, you can treat these characters as characters who are in a relationship, but then they just happen to be two guys versus, you know, a guy and a girl. So I really like that they're treating Lafayette and Jesus's relationship like a real relationship versus something that's like a mouthpiece for gay rights, like in Glee. I hope that in this season, Sookie will actually be more independent, that Bill will get more interesting, like he seems like he will be doing, that, you know, Tara's girl relationship won't be revealed to be like, 'cause she hates men kind of thing, and this whole thing with the witches, and how they seem to have a trump card over the vampires, who, like, we think are the most powerful, like how that's gonna play out. So I'm actually legitimately excited for True Blood, which has never happened before. So yeah, okay, auf Wiedersehen.